The FIFA World Cup is easily the biggest sporting event on Earth. Every 4 years, billions of people stop whatever they're doing just to watch 22 players chase a ball around a pitch. And somehow we love every single second of it. The last World Cup alone attracted over 5 billion viewers, which is actually more than half of the entire planet. The World Cup wasn't always a global phenomenon. In fact, when the first tournament was announced, some countries didn't even bother showing up. Others couldn't afford the journey, and one nation missed the tournament entirely because their ship got delayed. Imagine missing the biggest football tournament in the world because your transportation said, running 3 days late, sorry for the inconvenience. And that's only the beginning, because the story of the World Cup includes world wars, political boycotts, controversial referees, incredible underdog stories, the greatest players ever, and one goal that was scored with a hand that somehow counted. Anyway, so let's go all the way back to where it began, long before Messi, long before Ronaldo, long before Pelé, back when the World Cup didn't even exist. Before there was a FIFA World Cup, there was the Olympic football tournament. Back in 1914, FIFA officially recognized the Olympics as football's world championship. But as football became more popular around the globe, one man believed the sport deserved something bigger. His name was Jules Rimet, and on May 28, 1928, he proposed something revolutionary, a tournament exclusively for football. At the time, nobody knew that this decision would completely change sports history, but just 2 years later, the dream became reality as the first FIFA World Cup was set to be held in Uruguay. Now hosting the first World Cup sounds exciting, but there was one small problem. Most of the footballing world lived thousands of miles away, and planes weren't exactly the preferred option back then. The year was 1930, and Uruguay had been chosen as hosts because they were the reigning Olympic champions. European countries had to travel across the Atlantic Ocean by ship, not for a few hours, for weeks. As a result, many European nations chose not to attend, and only 4 European teams made the trip. In total, just 13 countries participated, 7 from South America, 4 from Europe, and 2 from North America. Egypt was supposed to become the first African nation to play in a World Cup, but bad weather delayed their ship and they missed the tournament entirely. The tournament finally kicked off on July 13, 1930. The format was simple, with 4 groups where the group winners advanced straight into the semifinals. And after weeks of competition, the final came down to Uruguay and Argentina. Over 90,000 fans packed into the stadium. The atmosphere was electric, and Uruguay won 4-2 to become football's first ever world champions. The World Cup was officially alive, but if FIFA thought things would get easier from here, they were about to be very disappointed, because the next tournament would bring controversy, boycotts, and eventually a world war. And trust me, that changes everything.